Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. We have Ben Higgins explaining why we waited till marriage. Him and his wife now, Jess Clark. He, of course, had not waited in the past, but she had, so he decided he would wait with her. Are we waiting? Why are we waiting? And then they have this hilarious moment where they were like, we were supposed to get married, then the pandemic pushed it back, and now the pandemic, it stinks when it pushes things back, but imagine the pandemic pushing back your sex life. Do me a favor, push your finger onto that like button. Give this video a like, a comment. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. As you guys know, we like to discuss topics that we all have different anecdotal opinions about, or how we see life. And waiting till marriage is one of them. You know, they say, I'm going to play this clip right here, but they say only 3% of Americans wait till marriage. According to Waiting Till Marriage, an organization that supports abstinence before marriage, around 3% of the U.S. population waits until they are married to have sex. While it's true that this percentage is small compared to those who don't wait, there's still around 10 million waiters right here. So he's not a waiter. Caitlin Bristow dished on Ben Higgins' hookup in the fantasy suite. Of course, she decided to test out the merchandise. Is that a bad term? I can't say anything anymore, to be quite honest. But mutually, she decided to test out the guys in the physical department, make sure everything lined up okay, and then they did the same with her. You know, that's what you do in most cases. Now, we'll get into my stance. You might be surprised. I'm very middle ground with what people want to do with their bodies. By all means, wait till you're dead. Well, that's weird. Just wait. I don't care. I don't care what other people do with your bodies. The people I care about are those that condemn others for what they do. It's just one of those let's all just take life a little less seriously. But that's where we're at. Here it is, folks.
Been, opening up more and just being courageous in your words and within all of us as audience and just you within your own relationship. And we know that you just got married 6 months ago.
Yeah.
I didn't get the invite, but it's okay.
Yikes.
I love you, bro. And during your engagement, you and Jessica were abstaining from sex.
Get to it.
How do you feel that journey helped strengthen your relationship?
Well, that is true. And when we successfully accomplished that mission.
A lot was said right there. Well, that was true. And then he said, we successfully accomplished that mission. My only hope is that as soon as he and his wife had their post-wedding, bumping of the Harrisons, as you will, the pushing of the Palmers, as soon as they had that moment where they kind of, did the dirty, the nasty, the gloriful, as soon as they read the gospel of the Lord, if you know what I'm talking about, as soon as they got out there and got down, okay, you understand the point. I just wish he said mission accomplished.
It is true. And when we successfully accomplished that mission.
Congrats.
They go, congrats.
I mean, there's multiple.
They weren't even they're like, congrats, man. You did it. You did it. You made love to your wife, man. Congrats.
Multiple angles to why that decision was made, right?
Multiple angles.
I think people hear it from the outside and they assume it was strictly a faith decision, a religious.
Not for you, Ben. For her, it was. Now, look, people. When we talk about these sensitive issues, people, I get a lot of projections in the comment section. Dave, how could you? Sex is it's a miracle between two physical. It's like, okay, fine. To some people it is, and to some people you're bumping uglies. Okay, it's one or the other. It's somewhere in between. Sometimes sex is that. Sometimes it's on top of a LeBaron after the bars close. It's one or the other, or somewhere in between, like most things in life.
This decision might be a better way to explain that. It wasn't solely that. Now, we both believe in Jesus. That is something that is at the foundation, the corner of our life. It is what we try to have everything come out of.
Did Jesus ever say, let's do this. Did Jesus ever say, wait till marriage? Because maybe he did. Maybe Jesus was like, all right, before we break bread, no funny business. You ever have that when you're slow dancing in middle school and they're like, leave room for the Holy Spirit? You ever have that? 57 Bible verses about waiting until marriage. Golly. I guess they made it clear. 1 Corinthians 7:2. But because of the temptation to sexual immorality, each man should have his own wife and each woman her own husband. All right, well, that doesn't say anything about That says don't cheat, right? Genesis, therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. They didn't include Genesis right before that. Genesis was, therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and go to spring break in Tampa Bay, Florida, do the funny business, learn his lesson, get some bacitration for the rash, and then find your wife and become one flesh. I don't know. To the unmarried and the widows, I say that it is good for them to remain single as I am. But if they cannot exercise self-control, they should marry. For it is better to marry than to burn with passion. I guess exercising self-control is the metaphor there for deciding to pump your Palmer or not. Well, let's see if we can exercise self-control and let this clip finish playing.
We also, because of that, do believe that sex is sacred. We believe it is something very powerful, something very important to consider and hold dear, to talk about, to express. We also believe it's an awesome thing. It's a gift. And
okay, guys, if I had $1 for every time someone said awesome is such an overused word when it comes to describing religious thing. Oh, God is awesome. Can we just spice up, like, okay, again, one more time. I'm actually doing the Lord's work here to further your vocabulary. So what's a better word for awesome? Sex isn't just awesome. It's staggering, baby. Stunning, stupefying, sublime, miraculous, astounding. Hey, honey, did you have fun? How was it? Baby, it was majestic. Okay? Come on.
In my life, personally, I was famously, or very, I guess I should say almost famously.
There you go.
Yeah. For Caitlin Bristol calling me out saying, are you a virgin? Right? And I said, no, I'm not. And I wasn't. Now, Jessica had her whole life, and she had held sex dear, and had abstained from sex her whole life. And so when I entered in that relationship with her, I said, okay, we both talked it out and said, what is the wise thing to do here for us? And it was, hey,
look, she had a moral fiber that he didn't have because it didn't mean the same thing to him. So he had to play up to her moral fiber versus her playing down to his. I think that's good. Like, don't bend your morals. Bend whatever you want. If you want to do a majestic bend, you can do that too. Do a little majestic bend out there. That's awesome. Anyway, so, lost the clip.
You've worked so hard to keep this moment special for you. And
yeah, he's worked very hard.
I've had failed relationships where that has been a part of my life.
That's true. And so, hey, you can't blame the guy. All your relationships don't work until they do. So if your relationships don't work, hey, try something new. I can't hate on it. You know what Corinthians says, or do you not know that the unrighteous will not inherit the kingdom of God? Do not be deceived. Neither the sexually immoral, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor men who practice homosexuality, nor thieves, nor the greedy, nor drunkards, nor revelers, nor swindlers will inherit the kingdom of God. Okay, so I guess people shouldn't drink. No drunkards. You know, a lot of greedy people out there. Although I wonder if this is where we get kind of close. So did the Bible actually say something about, let's see, I don't have time to look this up, but the point is that I don't always trust the words that are said because these have been, Google translated so many times. You remember, the King James, he was like Google, he was in his Google translator trying to figure out what, how to rewrite this thing to benefit him. Hey, and everyone goes, no, the Bible is Jesus' word. It's a collection of words that have been transcribed. So we need to do our best to just share love. I'm going to lose another subscriber. I'm already talking myself into a hole.
So let's try. Let's see what happens there because we have a whole life together, right? We didn't imagine. Now, here's the joke on us. When we got engaged, we didn't think COVID was going to shut down our wedding for a year and a half. So the big joke on us was, hey, let's wait a year longer than you expected.
He's like ready to go. He's ready to go. It's March 17th, 2020. He's ready. He's ready for that majestic, you know what? He's ready for that awesome, the whole deal. And then all of a sudden, the world shuts down. And he's like, oh, come on. He's like, can we do some sort of Skype wedding? Can we, that to me is where it becomes semantics. It's like running a race where the finish line is arbitrarily placed somewhere. It's like, look, you already agreed to get married. The pandemic shuts you down. We're talking paperwork. We're talking, did you sign on the dotted line? Did the notary stamp it? If the notary doesn't stamp it, you don't get to stamp it. That's the whole point.
Oh my God.
But so the question was like, what came of that? One is
I'll tell you what came of it.
It wasn't easy, and so it forced us to grow stronger together
Where
in
came
our
of it?
commitment to each other. It also got us really excited for when we did get married. There was something very special there. Something that we were going to work through as a married couple when we had already committed our lives to each other. And then finally, I think there was a level 2 where, because that physical part of our relationship was I guess not an option, it forced us and allowed us to communicate with our words a lot easier. And so we talk things out. We talk the weird stuff out, the uncomfortable stuff out. We talk about random stuff. We spent our time talking or having experiences together.
I don't know about you guys. I might be doing sex wrong, but I don't have so much sex that I don't also have time to talk. You know what I mean? Oh, those last 7 years, I was too busy, pumping Palmers. I didn't have time for a conversation. Isn't the best time to talk after sex? That's when you kind of relieve yourself of any sort of moral boundaries, right? You're in your most honest state, right?
And I'm not going to say that it's for everybody. I would not put my stake in the ground and say everybody should do this.
Which is true, because that's not what Ben did. Ben didn't do that. He did this which is, by the way, what a testament for his wife. You know what I mean? I know it's been tough for them. I know she had to deal with his previous relationships being out there, and I'm sure when they get in an argument, she's like, "Well, why don't you just go on Bachelor in Paradise then?" Can you imagine? Honey, I didn't think. Why don't you just go talk to Keelan Bristow on TV? I'm not saying she does that. I've never met her, but I'm just saying I could only imagine the ammo that she would have in a fight with regards to knowing his previous life, where she goes, "Look, I came to you pure and unleavened." It's a bread. I came to you unleavened. You provide me the yeast, baby. What are we talking about? This is why we're here, folks. This is what the channel's all about. I'm really losing myself here. So look, I'm not judging people that wait, and I'm certainly not judging people that don't wait. I do whatever makes you feel happy for you, not what your dad wants, not what society wants. Do what feels good for you, you unleavened piece of bread.
At all. I actually would very much push against that and say, no, this is a decision you need to make if it is right for you. But for us, it was right, and it feels right, and it feels like it was a healthy decision. I'm really glad that I guess I'm proud of myself that I was able to respect my wife and her decision her whole life. And I'm proud of her because now it's very healthy, and we have that special
very healthy
bond that existed once we got married.
Guys, definitely have a special bond. I'm glad that you
Mike's like, I've been looking at your photos. Your bond is special. You got a tight bond. You guys are just locked and loaded. You're ready to go. Look, okay, good. Happy for them. It's always anecdotal evidence. And so it's like, who would have known? I mean, things are so great. It's miraculous. Sure. But who's to say they wouldn't have been if you had just had some theoretical day where you decided you guys were going to spend the rest of your life together and then had sex? Or also, what if you just randomly had sex one day and then you started dating? Like, there is no start to the race. Not to say that that's wrong, just anecdotally, we have all got examples of things that worked out and didn't work out. Sometimes you start with casual sex and then you don't take each other seriously. So and sometimes you start with casual sex and you're perfectly fine. We know everyone in my comment section has different stories there. And by the way, I think the Patreon's having fun. Ashley says, barrel scraping Dave bringing his A game. That's right, folks. This is a barrel scraping Dave moment of the week.
Barrel scraping Dave.
And we're here for you guys. And let me know what you guys all think out there. If you want to be part of the Patreon, we're really crushing it over there. You can watch us sort of, a lot of times before we go live and before I make these videos, I bounce things off the Patreon. I kind of work a few thoughts out and we kind of get things going. They help me put I wanted to put together a thumbnail that had Mike Johnson being like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, you waited till marriage. Good for you. Not for me. Kind of one of those images. It wasn't easy at times, boys, but mission accomplished. And anyway, so if you want to watch the meat and the potatoes, you want to see how we make that unleavened bread rise, baby, we'll make it rise for you. And this video is over. Patreon.com/Dave Neal. Come to my stand-up show. Wrong. Come to my stand-up show May 12th that I've got going on in Burbank, and also tons of other content coming your way on the Dave Neal Show. Go check that out. Mission accomplished. Bye, everybody.